It all goes down in downtown tonight, as for the first time since 2019, the Cincinnati Bearcats will have a ranked matchup. In 2019, they faced off against the number 11 Houston Cougars in the American Athletic Conference Championship, where they knocked them off to go to the big dance. Tonight, they welcome into their city the number 22nd ranked Dayton Flyers from just up the road for a neutral site matchup along the Ohio River at Heritage Bank Center. My name is Aidan Riggs, joined alongside Chase Yance. Chase, we got a good one on our hands.
We do. Again, I mean, the I-75 battle down here at the Heritage Bank Center doesn't get much better than this. Two teams who rise to the occasion. Who will rise further than the other one tonight?
Of course, the Bearcats coming off a huge win in the crosstown shootout this past weekend, taking down the Xavier Musketeers for the first time in 6 years. The Dayton Flyers have a very strong resume coming into this game, just getting a win the other night against UNLV.
Yeah, I mean, they played a game against them, and it was a very interesting one. I mean, it came right down to the wire. Dayton, they had to hit a game-winning shot from Malachi Smith with 11 points, 5 assists, and he's averaging around 6 assists on the season. But here's the thing, I mean, it's tough. Dayton, when they are ranked and they're playing against unranked opponents, it kind of seems like they play to the competition level, play up or play down to the competition level. There's no question tonight that Dayton's going to try to bring their best showing against this 19th ranked UC team. And the thing with Dayton is, I mean, they were shooting really well from 2, not a great shooting night from 3, but they're the 3rd best shooting team from deep in the country, and best believe they're going to come out firing on all cylinders tonight.
So with that, we mentioned the Bearcats having that big win up this past Sunday against the Xavier Musketeers. What did we see in that matchup?
You know, here's the thing in rivalry games. A lot of numbers and everything else gets thrown out of the window. And what happens in crosstown shootouts is this. You got to bring toughness. You got to do the dirty work. Your stars are going to show up. The stars really didn't show up for Cincinnati on Saturday, but other contributors did. Dylan Mitchell, Aziz Bandego. He had Dayton Thomas, Connor Hickman. Again, those guys were able to rise to the occasion and do just enough to win the game. And the Stars did those little things later on in the game to help Cincinnati propel themselves to a big win over Xavier. Tonight, it's got to be another thing again, toughness. It's got to be integrity. You have to be able to go on ahead and defend the 3 against the Flyers. We're going to have a good one tonight. I'm so excited for this one.
A March-type atmosphere here.
Yeah.
Neutral site in the Heritage Bank Center, home of the Cincinnati Cyclones of the ECHL. This is such a special environment that the Bearcats are getting to play in tonight. Both fan bases have shown up in downtown. We got a great one on our hands. Let's look at some keys to the game you got.
Yeah, I mean, for Dayton, the 3 things I have for them. 1, push the tempo. This is a thing called speed versus size. Dayton has 3 guards, let's say 4 guards on the court. 3 guys that are under 6'4" on the court. They can run in transition. Malachi Smith. You also got to look at Javon Bennett and Enoch Cheeks. Those guys are going to be running the court. They got to get down there and try to beat this big athletic Cincinnati unit. Again, they also have to share the wealth. Keep UC guessing. There's a lot of players on this team that average double figures. 4 players for the Flyers that average double figures, and Javon Bennett's averaging 9.1 points a game. Pretty much like a Charleston unit from last year averaged. All those guys averaged like 10 points a game for all 5 starters. So they're very diverse in that regard. Gang rebound. There's only 3 players in the UC rotation that are smaller than 6'5". They have to crash the boards, get those offensive rebounds, and keep UC guessing on that rate.
That's something the Bearcats have struggled with this year, too, is rebounding. That will be a big matchup. We mentioned some of the big guys that can shoot as well for the Flyers. Great matchup for that defensively for the Bearcats. But then looking at the Bearcats, what are your keys to the game?
I mean, I think the first thing is looking at how well Dayton can shoot. Cincinnati has to defend the 3. Cincinnati has actually defended the 3 pretty well this year. UD has the 3rd best 3-point offense in the country. Whoever can come up in that regard is going to have a better chance of winning this game tonight. Own the paint. Bandego, Page, Mitchell, Skillings. It starts on the glass. It starts in scoring, around the rim and everything else. Finish your shots, get rebounds, everything else. You have to clean up the dirty work. Fluid offense. Multiple rotations to beat the pack line defense. If Cincinnati gets on multiple sides, gets Jizzle James going, Simas Lukosius going, it's just going to make this Dayton team guess here and there and everywhere. And then you have guys like Mitchell who are flying in for dunks, Skillings as well, trying to get back off that knee injury. But if Cincinnati is able to move it to multiple sides, it keeps this UD team more spaced out, and it gives those guys like Jizzle, Dayton Thomas more room to attack.
A packed house here at the Heritage Bank Center. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back with starting lineups shortly here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Welcome back inside Heritage Bank Center in downtown Cincinnati. The second annual Hoops Classic between the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Dayton Flyers. Aidan Riggs joined alongside Chase Yance. Chase, we saw last year Dayton got the best of the Bearcats winning that one 82-68. What were your thoughts on that one last year?
I mean, last year Dayton, they pretty much came out to a nice lead to start the game off. They came out firing on all cylinders. Cincinnati had to play catch up the entire game. And Dayton, here's the big thing. They only won by 14, but they're able to hit their free throws down the stretch. 28 for 30 from the line. Unreal numbers right there. When a team can hit free throws and you're in those clutch situations, they don't even turn clutch. It's just a casual Sunday stroll. So, I mean, the thing is right here, I mean, last year's game, Cincinnati got in a hole. They have to be able to kind of stay with it. It's a game of runs. Can you have more runs than the other team? That's the question tonight.
That was a game last year when the Bearcats were still kind of figuring out what kind of team they were. They were still very early in the season. That team really didn't develop until the second half of the year. This Bearcats team this year, a lot more poised to compete in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at this team right now. You're bringing back 6-7 guys from this roster from last year. It was a newer team last year. It was the first year in the Big 12. There were just a lot of new things that were going on. Now these guys have continuity. They have not the pressure, but they have the standard that they have to live up to. They understand it. This is a big-time game. I'm so excited we're here calling it.
This is electric. This atmosphere is amazing. It's an even 50-50 split right down the middle on fan bases. The Bearcats wearing, once again, the black cat uniforms, the beloved ones from the Crosstown Shootout, and an amazing uniform matchup against the Dayton Flyers in their powder blue.
There's not many better uniform matchups that could happen. I mean, we might be a little biased right now, but this is probably the best uniform matchup at the moment in college basketball on December the 20th. The rest of the season, it's going to be tough to top this.
Starting lineups now being announced for both teams. First, for the Cincinnati Bearcats, starting out at guard, number 0, Dan Skillins Jr. Also at guard, number 2, Jizzle James. At forward, number 23, Dylan Mitchell. At forward, number 41, Simas Lukosius. And rounding out the starting 5 for the Bearcats is number 55, the center, Aziz Bandego. Now looking at Dayton, about to be announced here over the speaker. Starting lineup for the Dayton Flyers, number 0, guard, Javon Bennett. Also at guard, number 6, Enoch Cheeks. It is loud in here.
Oh my goodness.
Also at guard, number 11, Malachi Smith. Also at forward, number 2, Nate Santos. And rounding out their starting 5 is number 23, Zed Key. We're going to keep saying it. It is electric in here.
It's hard to hear ourselves, I'll tell you that. We're right next to each other.
We are in a section. We're in section 211 at midcourt on the opposite side of the benches.
211 row F. I'm in seat 2, you're in seat 4. Our suits are in seat 3 and seat 5.
This is amazing.
Wow, I mean,
it feels like March and we're halfway through December.
Christmas is in 5 days. Let's think about that real quick.
We have a crowd of Dayton fans directly next to us that will be loud all game.
Yeah, this is...
Wow. A lot of talk about last year's game on Dayton kind of outnumbering the Bearcats and fans-wise. And this year, supposedly it's supposed to be more of a 50-50 split. Looking and listening to it right now, I'm still hearing a lot more Flyers than Bearcats.
I'm pretty sure University of Dayton has sold out their games for like 60 games plus in a row.
67 straight sellouts.
They trap. And look, a 45-minute commute down I-75 is absolutely nothing to them. I mean, last year they played in the West Regional against Nevada and all those teams. They were out there. You saw the whole Flyer Nation out there. It was incredible what they had. 45 minutes down the road, cake.
You know, there's a lot of talk online as well this week about establishing a foothold for the Bearcats in Southeast Ohio. You took down Northern Kentucky just across the river. You took down the Xavier Musketeers. If you can take down Dayton, establish yourself as the top team in this region, it would go so far, fan base-wise, recruiting-wise, all over the place.
And not to mention the exhibition game against Ohio State.
Exactly.
I know, it was dress rehearsal and everything else, but again, winning by 20 points against consensus big brother is something.
Both teams set to take the floor here from Heritage Bank Center. The 22nd ranked Dayton Flyers in the 19th ranked Cincinnati Bearcats. The Bearcats come in at 8-1, the Flyers at 10-2.
This is the game. This is the game of the night in college basketball.
Only ranked matchup on the slate. I believe the only two ranked teams playing tonight are the Bearcats and the Flyers.
There may be some football going on the gridiron, but hey, we're here in Heritage Bank Center. What better could you ask for?
Zed Key and Aziz Bandego step up to center court. And we are ready to get things going from the second annual Hoops Classic. The Bearcats and the Flyers on Bearcats Sports Radio. It's thrown up and it's won by Aziz Bandego.
Aidan Riggs, Chase Johnson, man, defense.
Jizzle James takes up the floor for the Cats. Simas Lukosius now on the left side, starts it out, dribbles inside the arc. Goes between his legs, guarded by Zed Key. Quick handoff, Dan Skillings, back up top, Simas Lukosius. Here's James, battling on the left side, back up top, Simas Lukosius. Here's Lukosius, back to James, left wing. Dribbles inside, on the block, back down his defender, tries to go up to Skillings. Shot clock gonna be an issue, 5 seconds. Skillings, pull up three from deep, it's up, that's no good off the side, rebounded by Santos. Here come the Flyers trying to get the first points of the game. Santos took it up, hands it off to Smith. Malachi Smith just on that midcourt logo, guarded by Jizzle James. Key thought about setting a screen for him, instead he's gonna pass it off to Santos. Santos walked on that one, lost his footing. That'll go in the Bearcats' favor.
Flyers try to get that high pick and roll replaced right there between Key and Santos. Just great defense right there by Dylan Mitchell. And Santos, maybe a little water on his shoe, a little slicker.
Ice underneath the floor here at Heritage Bank Center. Got to wonder if that played a factor in that one.
Hockey guy.
Jizzle James dribbles with his right hand up the floor. Dan Skillings now in the corner. Dribbles it back up top. Guarded closely by Enoch Cheeks. Skillings, top of the key. Dribbles with his left. Step back outside for the three. Puts it up. It was, I believe, tipped out of his hand. Jizzle James gets the rebound, though. James, pull up three. That one's blocked as well. Bandego battles for it. It's going to go off of the Flyers for a Bearcat inbound underneath the basket.
That's a shot that Dan Skillings usually does not take. That's kind of out of the bag for him. Again, I mean, having a guy like that who can attack and slash at the rim and settling for threes like that, not what you want to do to start the game off.
Lukosius set to inbound this one for the Bearcats. 16 seconds remains on the shot clock. 18:50 remains in the first half. We're still scoreless from the Bank Center. Dan Skillings, Jizzle James, open for the three from the top of the key. Tried to bank it in, no good. Dylan Mitchell offensive board. Back out to James, inside the arc. Back up top, Lukosius. Dribbles with his left hand, battling with his defender, inside the paint. Spin move, up and off the glass, that's no good. It's swatted all the way down the floor. Dan Skillings keeps it in, 8 on the shot clock. Cats gotta move fast, fans want over the back. Simas Lukosius for three, that's no good. Battle for the rebound, that might have been an own basket. Bearcats lead 2-0.
Well, they're not giving anybody any points. They gave it to Dan Skillings. It was Dylan Mitchell on that one. But again, offensive rebounds and touches.
Cats lead 2-0. Malachi Smith took up the floor, hands off to Zed Key. Top of the key, Javon Bennett. Battles with James inside the arc, battles towards the basket. Fouled on the way up, he'll go to the line for two.
Bennett knew where he wanted to get on that one. He kind of set the defense up to the right, shifted back to the left, got James on his hip, able to draw that foul.
Fans wanted a backcourt violation on that last play for the Bearcats when Dan Skillings picked it up. Got kind of vocal there. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I mean, that ball was tipped up. It looked like One Punch Man out there. Just really just pow right in the kisser. That ball went all the way back right there. I mean, again, maybe a missed call, see on the reviews and everything else, but 2 for the shots for the Flyers.
Javon Bennett makes the first shot, 71% free throw shooter on the year. Cats lead 2-1, 18:05 remains in the first half. Bennett will step into the line, ready for his second shot. Bennett so far this year, double figures in 4 games. Second shot is up, that one's good as well. We're knotted at 2. Dylan Mitchell inbounds, press is now applied by the Flyers. That's knocked out of bounds quickly by Bennett. Bearcats will try it again.
Yeah, the Flyers do love that man press. Again, they don't want Cincinnati to have anything easy. They want them to have it earned right there. And Dayton, that's their coach, Anthony Grant, right there. I mean, he is trying to instill this aggressive defense and nature into them.
Ball gets thrown in, Simas Lukosius. Back to Jizzle James, he'll slowly make his way up the court. Across midcourt he goes, takes a screen from Bandego. The left side of the court, up top, Simas Lukosius. Deep three is up, that's no good. Dan Skillings Jr. with the offensive board, up and good. Dan Skillings put back.
That's what you missed right there. Again, I mean, Dan Skillings back in the fold, offensive rebounds. Wes Miller talks about it all the time at his pressers. That's what he does.
Leading rebounder last year for the Cats. Deep three is up from Santos, that's no good. Rebounded by Bandego. Here come the Bearcats. They lead 4-2, trying to extend this lead. Simas Lukosius right side of the floor, up top Bandego. Jizzle James dribbles to the left hand, guarded closely by Bennett. Hands it off, Dylan Mitchell. Top of the key, Dan Skillings thought about the three, faked it, moves inside, baseline now, puts it, tries to put it up off the glass, it's swatted away. Here come the Flyers. Left side of the floor. There's Cheeks. Instead it's Smith. Works his way around to Bennett. Back up top to Smith. Malachi Smith dribbles with his right, takes a screen from Key. Inside the arc it goes. Cats wanted to travel, not going to be called. Santos in towards the basket. That's no good. Bearcats coming with the rebound. Jizzle James with speed. Hands it off Seamoss Lukochis. Inside the arc. Battling into the paint. Up and off the glass and good.
Keep attacking the rim. Cincinnati shooting 0 for 6 from 3. You have the size, the advantage, the athleticism. Take it to them.
Bearcats lead 6-2. 16:45 remains in the first half. Bearcats in zone comes alive. Malachi Smith took it up. He hands it off to Key. Key just outside the arc. Quick handoff. Here's Bennett. Swings it all the way around. Enoch Cheeks up top. Here's Malachi Smith, guarded closely by James. Thought about going inside, 10 on the shot clock. Battles to his right, inside the arc. Tries to battle inside the paint, loses possession. Here's Dylan Mitchell. Bearcats on a fast break. Seamoss Lukochis, open three. No good off the front iron, rebounded by the Flyers. Zed Key trying to quiet this Bearcats crowd. Here's Enoch Cheeks. Cheeks, right hand, three is up. Off and off the back glass. Foul's gonna be called on the floor against the Bearcats.
You know, Dayton's having a tougher time trying to penetrate inside because of trees that reside here for the Cincinnati Bearcats. What they're trying to do here, they're kind of trying to ice a ball screen in a way, and pretty much icing a ball screen is keeping it on one half of the court, making life difficult for Dayton to try to penetrate inside and just try to suffocate the offense to one half of the court.
Dayton with the inbound underneath the basket. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it in. Swatted away immediately by Dylan Mitchell. I'll go out of bounds. We'll do it all again.
Playing active here with the long frame of Dylan Mitchell. I mean, his wingspan is pretty close to 7 feet. I mean, a lot of these guys on the court for the Bearcats, they're probably around 7 feet with the wingspan. But again, I mean, with the icing of ball screens, it's a sag head from Bandego. He's going to play so far off, and Jizzle James, whoever's guarding the ball, is going to force it to one half of the court and try to make this Flyers offense stagnant.
Posh Alexander, newly into the game for the Flyers, inbounded that ball. Makes his way over to Bennett here on this near side. Top of the key, Latong. Hands it off, here's Alexander. Outside the key, stolen away, Dan Skillings. Fast break opportunity for Skillings. Was swatted away, instead no travel is called, he gets the basket.
That was a great attempt to try to steal that, but the ball was bobbled, so they'll let it play on.
Cats lead 8-2. Bearcat fans come alive. 15:30 remains in the first half. Bennett right in front of the Bearcats bench. Battles with Jizzle James. Working his way up top with him was Santos. Instead, Bennett takes it himself. Cross-court pass. Here's Santos. Ballot into the paint. Puts it up. Foul is called against the Cats. They'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, there was contact low right there. Again, he drove inside. There was no hands, but it was more the hip right there. Santos is down.
Santos down just outside the paint. We'll go to our immediate timeout here. Bearcats lead us 8-2 with 15:24 remaining in the first half. Listen to Bearcat men's basketball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Welcome back inside the Heritage Bank Center here in downtown Cincinnati. The second annual Hoops Classic between the 19th ranked Cincinnati Bearcats and the 22nd ranked Dayton Flyers. Aidan Riggs joined alongside Chase Johnson. Bearcats on a 6-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes. Chase, we see some subs coming in for the Bearcats here.
Yeah, you got Hickman, and then you also have Arrington Page coming in, trying to give those other guys breathers. We'll see who steps out. Obviously, Aziz Bandego is more than likely going to be the one to step out, but and Dylan Mitchell taking that breather as well. But Cincinnati has put up 10 more shots than Dayton so far, and they've put up 7 threes. 0 for 7 so far from 3, 4 for 6 from the 2. Just keep attacking them inside and make Dayton try to be tougher than you. Again, Cincinnati have the toughness, the grit, and everything else. Dan Skillings has 6 points. Just keep attacking the rim until Dayton has an answer about it.
At the line for the Flyers is Nate Santos, 70% shooter from the line on the year, makes his first one, makes it an 8-3 game.
And not to mention, Dayton's only put up 3 shots. 3 shots, 2 threes. They do not want to attack inside. They're going to try to get this offense going and try to put some wrinkles into this one.
Santos, 24 points against Lehigh, 23 against New Mexico State, makes that second one 8-4 ball game.
And then again for Dayton, I mean, the press. A lot of teams don't press in college basketball, but again, that man-to-man pressure is going to be big.
Connor Hickman takes up the floor. He's met by 2 Flyers right when he got across midcourt. Gets it away quickly to Simas Lukosius. 20 on the shot clock. Back up top, Connor Hickman. Quick handoff, Dan Skillings. Dribbles to his left, moving to his left. Picks up his dribble. Handoff, Simas Lukosius. Page thought about the screen up top. Step back three is up from Lukosius. That's no good off the front iron. Rebounded by the Flyers. Goes out of bounds. I believe that's going to be off the Flyers. That'll be Bearcat basketball.
I talked about how Cincinnati defensively is going to try to ice these ball screens when it comes to Dayton. Dayton's doing the exact same thing now with Arrington Page in the game. It's going to force the offense to stay on one half of the court, so Arrington Page is going to try to flip his screens from an angle to a flat ball screen, and now your primary ball handlers are able to slip inside and make the big man make a decision.
Cats inbounded on the offensive side of the floor. Simas Lukosius has it, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Working with his left hand, pass to Jizzle James. James guarded by Pasha Alexander at the top. Works this way, trying to get inside the arc. Back outside, Connor Hickman. Hickman's going to pull up for three from the top of the key. That's no good off the front iron. Battle for the rebound down low is won by the Flyers.
They just keep forcing these shots. Again, they're 0 for 9 from deep. Just try to attack and just play patient basketball. You'll get a look.
Malachi Smith has it up top. Now it's Pasha Alexander. Alexander, the transfer from Butler. Battles inside with Jizzle James. Picks up his dribble. Up and off the glass. That's no good. Arrington Page with the rebound.
Great defense right there by Jizzle. Played the active hands. Didn't extend him too far. And it just shows the muscle right there.
Bearcats lead the Flyers 8-4. 14-10 remains in the first half. Jizzle James, right side of the floor. Dribbles to the right. Handoff Page. Here's Page, top of the key. Tries to get it to Connor Hickman. Lost for a second. Gathers it. Simas Lukosius in the corner now. Here's Page. Handoff Lukosius. Page is going to give the screen. Simas working inside. Into the paint he goes, picks up his dribble, battles for the shot, gets his own rebound off that one, comes down with it in the paint, tries to work it back outside. The Cats will regroup. Arrington Page now has it up at the top of the key. Here's Jizzle James. The three from the wing is up. That's good. Jizzle James, first three of the game.
Hey, it was going to take a second right there, but hey, Jizzle with the sizzle. That's how you do it. Wide open three. Take your time. Get the puppy set. Thanks, Bill Rafter.
A little bit of drizzle on that one. They lead 11-4. 13:30 remains in this first half. Top of the key, Enoch Cheeks has it for the Flyers. Knocked away for a second. It's gathered by Nate Santos. Pushes inside, blocked by Dan Skillings. Came from behind and got him. Here comes Jizzle James with speed. Into the paint he goes. Charges his way in there. Instead, it's going to be called off of him out of bounds. Dayton Flyer basketball.
And again, there's nothing wrong with that shot right there. Again, Jizzle James was a little bit out of control, but it was just a great defensive play by Pasha Alexander. When you have that block and you have the momentum, take the numbers up the court, run it up, and again, Pasha Alexander, great defensive play. Lots of subs for the Cats. Go ahead.
A lot of subs coming in, as you mentioned. Day Thomas, I believe that's Tyler Betsy and Aziz Bandego enter the game. Bearcats lead 11-4, 13-13 remains in the first half. Flyers are going to take it to the floor slowly. Malachi Smith has it in hand, goes across midcourt. Smith handed it off to Enoch Cheeks. Back up top, it's made its way to Pasha Alexander. Here's Latong. The Frenchman has it up top. Malachi Smith now working inside. Tried to throw the lob up, but no one's there. That goes out of bounds, Bearcat basketball.
So there was a lot of screening on both sides of the court. Just one screen here, I'll come off a curl, and just keep Cincinnati guessing. Dayton had the opportunity right there, but someone was able to bump the Frenchman off his roll, and that's right there was why Cincinnati was able to get the ball back on an errant lob.
Day Thomas crosses midcourt, takes the screen from Bandego. Dribbles to his defender, guarded closely by Pasha Alexander. Has to pick up his dribble. Back to Bandego it goes. It's a right back to Day Thomas on that right side just in front of the Dayton Flyer bench. Here's Tyler Betsy. Deep three is up. That's no good off the front iron. Flyers come down with the rebound. Here comes Dayton. Far side, Pasha Alexander. Throws it to Santos. Now hands it off to Cheeks. Cheeks. Back to Alexander. Malachi Smith. Guarded by Connor Hickman. Working to his right now is Cheeks. Guarded closely by Tyler Betsy. Freshman trying to make an impact in this rivalry game. Driven to his right hand is Malachi Smith. Top of the key, shot clock at 4. Latong loses possession, stolen away by Day Thomas. Here come the Bearcats across midcourt. Day Thomas inside the paint he goes. Finger roll up and in. Day Thomas, steal and a bucket.
Day all day again, just play that patience. Wanted that lob for Mitchell, but was like, I'll take my time. I have all day to lay this one up.
Cats lead by 9, 12-minute remains in the first half. Bearcat faithful come alive. Pasha Alexander just outside the arc, hands it off to Latong. Latong, it was swatted away for a second, regathered it, now works its way back to Alexander. Guarded by Hickman. Thought about taking the screen, instead doesn't take it. Pull up three is up. That's no good off the back iron. Dylan Mitchell battles for it and comes down with the rebound. All the momentum in the Bearcats' favor. No baskets for the Flyers in the past 3.5 minutes. Day Thomas, wide open lane towards the basket. Instead, kicks it out in the corner. Connor Hickman for three. Not even close. Rebounded by the Flyers. Here come the Flyers with speed. Malachi Smith towards the basket. Swatted away by the Bearcats. Connor Hickman now trying to find the answer. Back and forth they go. Tyler Betsy open for three from the wing. Heads up, it's good. Tyler Betsy, Cats lead 16-4. Timeout Flyers.
I think we're mistaken. There's a lot of Cats fan here tonight. I'll tell you that one.
Cats lead by 12. 10:55 remains in the first half. What a start for this Bearcat squad.
I forgot the tape today. It feels like March already.
I'm out of breath. Oh my God. With that, we will take the under 12 immediate timeout. The Bearcats lead this one 16-4 over the Dayton Flyers. You're listening to Bearcat men's basketball here from Heritage Bank Center. The Heritage Bank Center is rocking tonight here from downtown Cincinnati. The 19th ranked Bearcats lead the 22nd ranked Dayton Flyers 16-4. The Bearcats are on an 8-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes.
These numbers are staggering to look at right now. Cincinnati has put up 3 times the amount of shots that Dayton has had tonight, and Dayton hasn't even made a field goal yet. Cincinnati's not necessarily shooting well from the field at all. 7 for 21 and 2 for 13 from deep, but 8 offensive rebounds to keep those second chance points alive. This is pretty insane, to say the least.
You said it when we went to break. We doubted the Bearcat fans in this arena.
And again, I mean, we're obviously UC students ourselves, and, you know, Fifth Third can get very loud. We're in a different arena. Dayton travels really well, but we also can't see this portion below us. And to say the least, Bearcat faithful is here, and they're strong.
Flyers inbound the ball. Bearcats lead 16-4. 11 minutes remains in the first half. Met by Day Thomas, or Jizzle James rather, at midcourt was Malachi Smith. He dribbles with his right hand just across midcourt. 18 seconds on the shot clock, having a little trouble finding someone. Knocked away by Dylan Mitchell. He's got to battle for the steal. He gets it inside the paint, stolen away by the Flyers. Back and forth they will go here. Across midcourt, taking it for the Flyers was Javon Bennett, trying to get the Dayton offense going. Bennett inside the arc, back up top, Malachi Smith down low. Here's Key, battling the Bandego in the paint. Kicks it back outside the paint, dribbling, backing down on Bandego. Dribbles to his right, kicks it back outside. The three is up. That's no good off the back iron. Day Thomas comes down with that rebound for the Cats.
Defensively, Cincinnati is smothering the Flyers, and they have just played so aggressive.
Jizzle James has it. He's met tightly by Malachi Smith. Gathers possession, though. Here's Aziz Bandego on that wing. He's going to be called for a travel. Took one too many steps.
He took a few too many steps. I think he probably had about 3 travels right there. But again, I mean, when you have a guy who is not a ball handler or anything else, just looking for a dribble handoff, it obviously has for Dayton's defense. Get up in the guys' grills and let's make it tough for Aziz Bandego to get it off.
Malachi Smith takes up the floor for the Flyers. Under 10 remains in the first half. Pass it all the way over to Javon Bennett here on this near side. Up top the key, here's Key. The three is up from Smith. Off the front iron, rebounded by Jizzle James. Here come the Bearcats. Fast break opportunity. They elect to slow down. Here's Day Thomas right in front of us on this wing. Day with his left hand. Into the corner he goes. Crossover move, back up top. Here's Tyler Betsy. Betsy, the freshman making the big three earlier in the game. Works his way to his left. Here's Aziz Bandego. Bandego's going to give an inadvertent screen to Betsy. Instead hands it off to Day Thomas. Thomas on the wing, working his way towards the baseline. Tries to kick it back outside. He stepped out of bounds, though. Flyer basketball.
You know, defensively, this has just been really interesting so far. I mean, Dayton's not playing bad defense. It's just they're not closing these plays out because Cincinnati has 8 offensive rebounds. And again, on the defensive side for Cincinnati, where there's so many subs coming in, I mean, extending and passing lanes so far out. They're playing so aggressive right now, just trying to just really punish this Dayton offense, and they have so far.
3 turnovers on the last 3 possessions for the Bearcats. 3 turnovers in the last 6 minutes for the Dayton Flyers. Flyers don't have any points in the past 6 minutes. I was anticipating saying basket in that. They don't have a basket in the game yet. Ooh. Malachi Smith. Cross midcourt he goes. Here's Javon Bennett. Back up top, there's Smith. Passes to his left. That's Enoch Cheeks. Cheeks the leading scorer for the Flyers. Battles with instead with Simas Lukosius. Inside the paint. Back outside, here's Smith in the corner. Smith inside the paint. Battles tightly with Jizzle James. Thought about a travel call on that one. It's not going to be called. Key has it. Puts up the little hook shot. That's no good. Offensive board by the Flyers. Santos puts it up and good.
Yeah, that's where Dayton's going to have to really make their money. I mean, they're going to have to get offensive rebounds, get those low ones, swipe at the ball, everything else. And again, I mean, when they get those switches and opportunities, they're going to have chances to take those threes. They just have to start connecting.
Bearcats lead 16-6, 8:30 remains. Flyers get their first basket 11 minutes into the game. Jizzle James dribbles with his right, working inside towards the basket. Puts it up off the glass. It's no good. Rebounded by Santos to the Flyers. Here come the Flyers, a little bit of speed. Javon Bennett, pull up three from deep. That's up, that's no good. The front iron. Day Thomas comes down with the rebound. Stays in bounds. He's going to take it up the floor for him. Cats lead 16-6. 8 even remains in the first half. Day through his legs, motions his offense. Dribbles to his left with his left hand. Thought about sending it up top. Dan Skillins instead hands it off to Page. Page has it top of the key. Here's Jizzle James, top of the key. Guarded tightly by Smith. Push it back up towards midcourt. Down low now. Here's Arnson Page. Lost possession. Stayed in bounds. Dan Skillins. No time on the shot clock. That's going to be a shot clock violation.
That horn was delayed.
So with that, that'll be the under 8 media timeout. The Bearcats lead 16-6 over the Dayton Flyers here from Heritage Bank Center. You're listening to Bearcat Men's Basketball on Bearcat Sports Radio. They are going down the drive here from Heritage Bank Center in downtown Cincinnati. The 19th ranked Bearcats taking on the 22nd ranked Dayton Flyers. They lead this one 16-6. 7:42 remains in the first half. Chase, we've seen a little bit of turnover trouble here for the Bearcats in the past few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they have 5 turnovers. They've been kind of sloppy with the basketball, trying to drive inside. I mean, Dayton is also forcing them for baseline, and there's a lot of help over there. Again, an actual baseline to be your help. And then Dayton's also sagging down and playing with active hands. Cincinnati just have to stay patient. They have to find the right looks. They will get the right looks if they play with that patience, and they'll get buckets very close to the rim.
Dayton takes it up the floor. 7:30 remains in the first half. Here's Javon Bennett. Dribbles with his right on that wing, guarded closely by Connor Hickman. Into the paint he goes, floats it up, and that's good.
I think the big thing for Dayton offensively is they're going to have to try to find the mold defensively for Cincinnati. Is it Simas Lukosius? Is it Connor Hickman? Who are they going to attack? And they have to stay consistent with it.
Cats lead 16-8. Inside, Arnson Page has it. Backs down his defender. Got some space. Puts it up off the glass and good. Arnson Page puts the Cats up by 10.
A staple right there. Just a curl. Let's go inside. Arnson Page on that block and just go easy. Layup.
Jacob Connor has it for the Flyers. Knocked out of bounds. Off of a flyer. Dan Skillins got it. Cats basketball.
Again, right there, I mean, Cincinnati was able to blow up that dribble handoff right there. Dan Skillins was able to get skinny with it, use the hands, get that nice defensive play. Cats ball again.
Enoch Cheeks will enter the game once again, replacing Jacob Connor. That was a quick stint for Connor in the game.
It was. And one thing, I do want to give Jacob Connor a shout out. We played each other in the district final a couple of years ago, man. He's a good player, but it's just a rough stretch right there for him.
Jizzle James takes up the floor for the Cats. 6:44 remains in the first half. They lead this one 18-8 over the Dayton Flyers. Simas Lukosius dribbles with his left. Inside the arc he goes. Back outside, he takes it. There was Page for a second. Back to Lukosius. Now here's Hickman. Connor Hickman dribbles with his right. Takes a screen from Skillins. Skillins now has it top of the key. Inside the paint. Trying to go down low to Page. A foul is going to be called against the Flyers.
Call that reach across, that reach around foul right there. Skillins had to play with those stronger hands and just a little too aggressive right there when it comes to the active hands for Dayton.
First foul of the night called against the Flyers. One against Javon Bennett. Day Thomas comes back into the game, replacing Jizzle James. Day is going to inbound it for the Cats underneath the basket. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Puts it in. Here's Arnson Page. Just off that Simple Truth logo. Back up top, here's Day Thomas. Dan Skillins on the wing. Arnson Page. Page, top of the key. Try to get it to Simas Lukosius. He lost it. Lukosius gathers it now. He has it at the top of the key. Dribbles his right hand. 3 is up from deep. That's up. It's good. Simas from deep puts the Cats up 13.
Oh, that was all the way from Lithuania right there. What a shot.
Simas, the dual citizenship with Lithuania and Germany. Found that out yesterday. Foch Alexander took it up the floor for the Flyers. Foul's going to be called against Connor Hickman. That's going to be his first.
I really would like to know how many languages Simas Lukosius does speak. Again, moving around so many places in his childhood.
Yeah, his dad is a professional basketball coach. He's lived in around 8 countries or so in Europe. Wild list of countries as well.
Talk about a melting pot right there. Whew.
Posh Alexander has it for the Flyers. Top of the key, he has it. Hands it off to Nate Santos. Javon Bennett now guarded by Connor Hickman. On the wing, works to his right along the baseline. Inside the arc, back outside he goes. Here's Enoch Cheeks. Guarded by Seamoss in the paint, lost it for a second, regather it, off his foot it goes, out of bounds, Bearcat basketball.
I apologize, Seamoss Lukosius. I was not familiar with your defensive game. Again, with the active hands playing wall-up basketball. Just a great job right there. Textbook defense.
Seamoss's defensive game has been a question this whole year. That was impressive.
It has.
5:25 remains. Bearcats lead 21-8 in the first half. Dede Thomas took up the floor. Aziz Bandego now has it. Dan Skillings, top of the key, inside the arc. Tried to get it over to Dede. Dede gets it, though, after it was deflected.
Numbers.
Thought about kicking it over to Dan Skillings. He gets it. Here's Dede Thomas. Seamoss Lukosius, top of the key. Step back three. That one's up. That's even deeper. Bounces off. It doesn't quite go in. Out of bounds it goes off of Aziz Bandego. Flyer basketball.
That was very close. It looked short from here, but it just caught that front of the rim, had the right roll at first, and toilet bowl measures just do its own thing afterwards.
Dylan Mitchell and Tyler Betsy come back into the game, replacing Dan Skillings Jr. and Seamoss Lukosius.
Those two have brought the defensive energy really well tonight, extending in the passing lanes with the active hands and just showing off their 6'8", 6'9" frames, and it's really given Dayton a lot of problems.
Here's the Flyers. Under 5 remains in the first half. Nate Santos mans the offense. Hands it off, Posh Alexander. Santos again on the baseline. Step back jumper is up. That's good. That one was pretty.
That was tough. I'll tell you that. I mean, Santos was able to just get a stop on a dime, between the legs action, getting his shot. That's going to be a fun matchup right there with Santos and Mitchell.
Dede Thomas took it up the floor for the Cats. Here's Aziz Bandego at the top of the key. Hand off, Connor Hickman. Inside the arc he goes. Inside the paint. Connor Hickman was knocked away. Here come the Flyers, just numbers. Flyers slow down. Enoch Cheeks took it up the floor. Posh Alexander now has it. Back to Cheeks. Dribbles with his right hand. Into the paint he goes. Carry is going to be called against him. Bearcats will have possession.
Interesting call right there. I mean, kind of hard to tell from up here in our section, but again, I think a little too happy with the basketball for Cheeks.
Don't see that one called too often as well.
You normally don't have it at this age, but I'll tell you, the NBA does it quite a bit. But here in this college basketball realm, they do a pretty good job of keeping it pretty clean.
Dede Thomas will inbound it for the Cats. Full court press is applied by the Flyers. Gets it into Dylan Mitchell. He's got some space, so he'll take it up the floor himself. Wes Miller motions his offense around. Here's Dylan Mitchell, top of the key. Picks up his dribble. Tyler Betsy now has it on that right wing. Spin move. Keeping his pivot foot. Hands it off Aziz Bandego. Betsy gets it once again. Into the corner. Dylan Mitchell battles with his man. Thought about the spin move. Kicks it back outside. Dede Thomas. Dede fakes the three. Goes between his legs. Dangles the man up the top of the key. That's no good. Battling for the rebound is Dylan Mitchell. He comes down with it in the paint. Dylan Mitchell pushes forward his man, puts up the basket. Aziz Bandego can't find it. It's a battle underneath the rim. Dayton comes away with it.
Wow.
Meet me at the mountaintop.
Aziz Bandego is going to be called for an off-the-ball foul. They're going to take a look at that one for an intentional, or possibly a flagrant. Wild array of events here as 3:34 remains in the first half. The Bearcats lead 21-10 over the Dayton Flyers. We will take our last media time out of the first half. You're listening to Bearcat Men's Basketball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Welcome back to downtown Cincinnati here in the Heritage Bank Center. The second annual Hoops Classic between the 19th ranked Cincinnati Bearcats and the 22nd ranked Dayton Flyers. Bearcats lead this one 21-10 over the Flyers. I'm Aidan Riggs, joined alongside Chase Johns. Chase, story of the game so far has been the Bearcats owning the offensive boards.
Wes Miller talks about it a lot in his press conference. You have to eliminate the other team from hitting the offensive glass, but talk about in reverse. Cincinnati has really hit that offensive glass hard tonight. 10 offensive rebounds, 19 total rebounds. Dayton has 11 rebounds total for them. I mean, what has happened so far, the numbers don't tell the story. They really don't. The one number that tells the story is the offensive rebounds in that regard, and the amount of second chance points that Cincinnati has had. The Bearcats have not shot well. Dayton has just shot even worse.
So out of that, or at that break, we had a review for a potential flagrant foul on Aziz Bandaogo. We'll see what the call is shortly. The refs that entire break were at the video, or at the monitor, looking at that. So we await an announcement. The Flyers are first onto the court.
If I had to guess, actually, no, I'm not taking any guesses. Not doing that.
It looks as if Malachi Smith was going towards the baseline to inbound it. So I'm assuming it is not a flagrant foul.
Well,
we'll see in a sec here, though. Is a flagrant one foul against Aziz Bandaogo.
Well, it looks like Dayton didn't even notice that it was a flagrant one.
Dayton was ready to inbound that as if it was a common foul. That's Aziz Bandaogo's second foul of the game. I'd love to see a replay of that one. I believe he got a little high with the elbow when he was backing down his man.
They have the ESPNU broadcast up on this 1x1
Ethan called it a 4x3 earlier when we were down there.
Yeah.
Very old school video board here.
It definitely is, I'll tell you that. That box that's up in the middle of this video board, I'll tell you that. But, I mean, Zed Key at the line, man, I mean, he's a pretty good free throw shooter. He's played a lot of college basketball, scored 1,000 points just a couple weeks ago and for his career. So this could be a turning point for Dayton if they're able to get these free throws and get the ball back.
The scoreboard uses the same number for shots on goal as it does team fouls here as well, to give you an insight on the hockey aspect here. First free throw is made by Zed Key. That makes it a 21-11 ball game. 3:34 remains in the first half. Second shot is up. That one's good as well. It'll be Dayton basketball on the inbound here with that flagrant foul. First points of the game for Zed Key.
So that's a bright spot for Dayton. They're 6 for 6 from the line. If they're able to just keep getting to the line and take those free, easy points, they can get back in this game.
Nate Santos has it for the Flyers. Here's Zed Key, top of the key. Working to his left, Malachi Smith. Pull-up jumper from mid-range is up, and it's good. Malachi Smith's first basket of the game.
Need a big answer here from Cincinnati. Get to one of your best things in this playbook. The high ball screen out top, try to attack the rim and look for dump-offs.
Here's Jizzle James. Inside the arc, picks up his dribble, back outside Simas Lukosius. Simas, right-hand dribble. Works it to the right. Arden Page has it knocked away by the Flyers. Their fan base getting loud here in Bank Center.
Their fan base getting loud, the defense getting more active hands. You've got Cheeks out there as well as Posh Alexander. Those guys are going to be manning that front. And then you got Zed Key down low trying to protect the rim. This will be interesting to see how Cincinnati tries to attack this one with 12 on the shot clock.
Jizzle James, now 10 on the shot clock. Here's Dylan Mitchell up top. Dede Thomas has it. A little bit of space on that wing. Dede Thomas, pull-up three from deep. It's up, it's no good. Off the front iron, rebounded by the Flyers.
They're going to push this one, I'll tell you that.
Here come the Flyers. A little bit of pace on this one. Enoch Cheeks inside. Foul's going to be called against Arlington Page.
I'll tell you one thing about Zed Key. He's, what, 6'8", 6'9". He's not the biggest guy out there, but I'll tell you, he plays with a lot of heart, a lot of grit, and a lot of aggression. He's not going to beat you over the top. He's going to beat you with his body. He's going to be able to just move you out of the way and use his strength to an advantage. Jump hooks, everything else playing as that old-fashioned big inside. And that right there is able to draw a foul.
Ball's inbounded to Nate Santos, makes his way up top, Posh Alexander. That was the 16th foul for the Bearcats. Another one will put the Flyers in the bonus. 2:30 remains, the Cats lead 21-14. Dribbling with his right hand is Malachi Smith. Inside the arc he goes, guarded closely by Jizzle James. Malachi Smith stolen away, Dan Skillings. Here come the Bearcats, a little bit of speed. Here's Dylan Mitchell. Picks up his dribble, right on the wing, back up top. Dan Skillings gonna let the offense develop. Jizzle James right side of the floor. Simas Lukosius works around. Jizzle still has the ball. Foul's gonna be called against Malachi Smith. Second foul of the game for the Flyers.
I'll tell you, there's about 8,000 officials that are in the stands wearing blue tonight. They are really on it right now. If you really have a problem with it, go out, fill an application out, and try to get certified.
Jizzle James will inbound this one right in front of Anthony Grant, the head coach of the Dayton Flyers. James has it in his hand, waiting for a player to get open. He gets it into Simas Lukosius. Guarded tightly by Enoch Cheeks. A foul is going to be called against Cheeks on that one.
They call that foul because of early hands. He had the hand straight up, and when you pull up your hands like this, it almost says, hey, I just committed a foul, but I'm just going to say I really didn't commit a foul. So when you're drawing more attention to yourself is what I'm trying to say.
Cats still lead 21-14. 2:15 remains in the first half. 20 on the shot clock, gets into Simas Lukosius. Arlington Page battling his way in the paint. Tried to put up the shot. It was blocked away. Off of the Flyers, it's called. Bearcat basketball with 16 seconds on the shot clock.
So Dayton's booing a lot right here, saying that it really went off of Arlington Page. These officials aren't going to have a discussion right now. Maybe they will. What happens in a situation like this, it was great wall up by Zed Key. Sometimes if they're not going to give the call, they're going to give the benefit of the doubt. That ball went off of Arlington Page.
That did not touch a Flyer on that possession.
It did not. Not one bit. That was not a good call at all, I will say.
Whether or not, 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Bearcats. Here's Jizzle James. Pull-up jumper from mid-range is up. That's good. Jizzle James, a little bit of drizzle on that one. Puts the Cats up by 9.
Able to just capitalize on that possession right there. Again, they were given a free one, given a gift, and they were able to take that gift and cash it at the bank.
Here come the Flyers. 1:45 remains in the first half. Cats lead by 9. Jizzle knocked that one away for a second. Smith recovers, though. 15 on the shot clock. Malachi Smith dribbles with his right hand. Here's Zed Key. Zed Key battles in the paint. Off the ball foul is going to be called against Arlington Page. That's going to be his second.
So sometimes when there are no calls, they could easily call it, and then if a ball goes out of bounds, something like that, they kind of, it's like a makeup call in that same play. It's like, okay, I could give you a foul right here, but I'm going to let you play and give you the benefit of the doubt, but the other team's going to get the ball. I had a situation like that at Earlham. There was one time where I blocked the shot, and then, I was like, this is a clean block. It goes out of bounds, and then, went off of the guy for Defiance College, and then it was like, oh, it's their ball. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. He was like, I could have called you for a foul, or I give you the benefit of the doubt and keep you in the game. That's pretty much what happened right there as Zed hit the free throw.
Yeah, Zed gets the first free throw to go. Cuts the Bearcats lead to 8. 1-and-1 opportunity.
Sorry, the memory bank is flooded right now. I keep getting
it's perfectly good.
It keeps coming back in the play.
It's working with the game, so why not? Second shot is up. That's no good. Battle for the rebound. The Flyers come down with it. Lapse in judgment there from the Bearcats. Offensive board given to the Flyers. Posh Alexander motions his offense around. 13 on the shot clock.
Huge possession.
Dribbles with his right along the baseline he goes. Spin move in the paint. Puts it up easy. Basket for Alexander. 6-point ball game. The fans in powder blue come to their feet with 1:13 to go in the first half.
Posh played in the Big East, plays patient, big-time guard. Nice shot right there.
Simas Lukosius has it for the Bearcats, trying to extend their 6-point lead. Up top, Jizzle James. Bearcats won for their last 7 from the field. Jizzle. Here's Simas Lukosius. Stolen away easily by the Flyers. Posh Alexander took that one from him. Alexander across midcourt. Malachi Smith. Open 3 is up. That's no good at the front iron. Battling for the rebound of the Bearcats. Dan Skillings comes down with it. Here come the Cats. A little bit of numbers. They slow down. Tyler Betsy has on the wing. Bearcats, 40 seconds on the shot clock. They still lead by 6. 20 on the shot clock. Game clock has 35, brother. Timeout date.
See, in a situation like this, when momentum, you can see it starting to swing, you have to go back to your bread and butter. Wes is going to draw up a play. We're going to have to look for potentially Jizzle James or Simas Lukosius getting the ball. Don't want to settle for a 3. 3 for 16 from deep, 10 for 31 from the field. Get Jizzle James some confidence and try to get him attacking the basket. 2 for 5 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. He can take Malachi Smith to the bucket. I'll tell you that right now.
We saw that beautiful mid-range shot he just had. And a great space, pushing inside, makes the move, gets some space, easy basket. Jizzle's making those 9 times out of 10.
Again, Jizzle is also, he's a very compacted player, very strong, muscular point guard. He's able to move guys
running back.
Running back, Hall of Fame running back teams as we had. But again, just getting him downhill, it's almost like, again, I don't want to use more football puns, but it's a running back hitting an open hole and trying to get it and score 6. He's scoring 2 off the glass. He's able to get that right screen, take it downhill, and just finish it over the top.
34 seconds remains in the first half. Bearcats will have the ball coming out of this timeout. They lead 23-17 over the Flyers. 19 seconds remain for the shot clock. As the Bearcats retake the floor. We've mentioned it many times, the beautiful uniform matchup of the black cap unis for the Cats and the powder blues for the Flyers. Simas Lukosius will inbound this. Kind of at the 3/4 court mark in the offensive zone.
It's an interesting look for Cincinnati. This is an interesting 5 they have out there. The tallest guy's Dylan Mitchell. They have one guard, and they have 4 forwards out there.
Jizzle James has it just off the midcourt logo, guarded closely by Posh Alexander. Takes a screen from Dylan Mitchell. Into the corner it goes. Tyler Betsy, open 3 is up. No good off the back iron. Put back is good from Dylan Mitchell.
Dayton ran a 1-3 run right there. It's going to be tough to have those long shot, long rebounds and try to box out. Dylan Mitchell crashing that offensive glass, doing what Cincinnati does so well.
Cats lead by 8, 10 seconds on the game clock. Posh Alexander has it for the Flyers. Down to 5. Here comes Alexander, into the paint he goes. Lost the ball, off of him it goes. Bearcat basketball.
Textbook defense right there by Dylan Mitchell. Unbelievable stuff.
One last opportunity for the Bearcats with 3 seconds to go. Can extend their 8-point lead, possibly to double digits. Jizzle James is going to inbound it. The Bearcats will run a set play. They're set up right now at midcourt. Stacked a bunch they have. Almost running a football play right now. Gets it in, here's Dylan Mitchell. Hands it off right back to Jizzle James. Back to Dan Skillings. Full court. Shot is up, that's no good. Off of the shot clock it goes. With that, the Bearcats will head into the locker room, leading this one 25-17 over the Dayton Flyers.
I thought that shot clock was going to fall for a second. They had to get the one right behind the basket and get it all screwed in and everything else. This is an interesting place, man. This environment, it's fun. The teams, they're trying to get used to it. I think the depth perception also might play a factor into shooting deep. Again, Cincinnati is able to attack the rim a bit better than Dayton has, but overall, it's been a pretty good game so far. Defensive stalwarts throughout.
Dan Skillings, your leading scorer for the Bearcats with 6. Your leading rebounder is Dylan Mitchell, also with 6. For the Flyers, your leading scorer is Nate Santos with 6, and he's also your leading rebounder with 4. So with that, we'll head to halftime. Bearcats lead 25-17 over the Dayton Flyers. Chase will be back with play-by-play shortly for the second half.